Oh man, half of this park here is locked off. But I'm gonna see this positively in that it provides me a nice place to mount my camera. This fence. Hello and welcome to LVlog number 40. Yes, we decided it's 40. 39 was whatever. It's 40. We're at 40. I feel old. I've been doing this for a while. Oh yeah. And we're somewhere in Belgium. Antwerp and Wappen. I have no idea what this place is called. You know, somewhere north of Brussels. I'm on the way to the Netherlands for a Zouk festival. The biggest one yet. The Dutch Zouk Congress. We'll see, but I'm not gonna talk about the Dutch Zouk Congress in this video, because this video is about women and dating and my sex life, broadly speaking. Also, I get a bit annoyed by how not straight you are. Oh, that's okay. So, things happened, and I wanna tell you about them because, well, that's kind of what, and like I've been wanting to make this video for a bit now, and finally I'm traveling again and I have some time on my hands so I can actually find the time and a nice place to make a video. This is the city park of that place I'm in. So, what's the news? Well, I've got a bunch of news, but where do I start? Overall check-in, I'm pretty good with my life and how my situation is right now. It feels pretty solid, I like it, it's going in a good direction. It's not 100% what I really want, but I'm certainly making progress in the direction of where I want to go to. And I kind of want to talk about how I got here and where I'm at. And it all starts with fusion festivals. Because in the past month I've been to a few of those, and every time I was intimate with another person. Like every time I went to a festival and there was something going on with someone, and then I went back to Vienna and I was like, oh, I need to go to a fusion festival again. And then I went to another festival and I had something with someone else. And then I went back home and I was like, oh damn. And I went to another festival and I had something with one person. And then at the same festival, I almost had something with another person. At least we were very, eyeing each other. But, I didn't have more time. I imagine if I would have had another night or two with them, then there would also be something going on there. Because I felt that tension already as a kind of so, yeah. And then also at the same festival, I also had something with somewhere where I really didn't imagine that would happen, but that happened anyway. So yeah, lots of intimacy with people, different people. And so I was like, damn, how do I do that? I was talking about this with a fusion friend, one of my co-organizers in Vienna, being like, damn, it's so easy on fusion festivals all of a sudden to be like close to people. Why do I not manage that in Vienna? How do I not even manage to go on a single date in Vienna? And it is true that the fusion people are kind of, it's a bit of their own bubble. They're all kind of poly, or a lot of them. And it makes sense because fusion is very, close, and we dance with a lot of people, and therefore we're close with a lot of people, and so it kind of makes sense. And I don't know which one it is. Because we dance close with other people, we kind of are poly, or because we tend to be poly people, we choose to go to fusion events. Because, monogamous people who are like, oh, no, you better don't even look at other women, will not go to a fusion dance, because there you dance with other women. You dance with other people. Let's not say women. There's this, it needs to be the right kind of people, and fusion is a very specific crowd. And yeah, I think I also like it because I'm that sort of person in a way. I'm not saying I'm poly, but I'm certainly very open, like more on the open side. Definitely totally open to, have dances with several people, cuddle with other people. This is so normal in the fusion community that you just cuddle with anyone. And for some people, I know that because I've been on like 1 or 2 dates in the 4 years that I've been in Vienna, and I talked with the women I dated there, and they were like, no, you can't cuddle with other people. And I'm like, this feels weird. This is what I like. This is so weird. I don't like. This was even before fusion, but even in the radical honesty scene that I was in back then, we were cuddling with each other, and we were like, so again, I search the places that fit me. So it makes sense that, the people, okay, the fusion people being very open and poly is an observation. I mean, that helps. But there's also other things that I learned, and maybe we start here. Maybe because I had something going on with so many people. So many. Okay, come on, Andy. It was 4 people. Fine. But I saw patterns because in the entire like I've been going to festivals for the past 2 years and not much has happened. I mean, once or twice, maybe a quick flirt and some sex, and then that was it again. But like, I have hypotheses of why it suddenly worked so well recently for me. And there's 2 main things to this. Number 1, most of the people, or let's say all of the people in the last month, I have met before. So it's not that I go to a festival, I get to know someone and suddenly we're like this. Not saying that this can't happen, it sometimes does, that like you just find each other attractive and it's, you know, you just want to go for it. But all of the times now was with people that I have met at the previous festival before. So we already kind of knew each other. There's this familiarity. So I'm not a stranger to them anymore. And especially if you did things like the teacher training together, then all of a sudden there's this, oh, we are now this in-group of fusion teachers, and all of a sudden that you have a different relationship already compared to all the other strangers at the event. But not saying that it had anything with a fusion teacher training, because I didn't, but almost. I would like to. Anyway, so that's the one thing. The other thing, and this is the big one, that I noticed, the number 1 thing that you can do for someone to find you attractive is being interested in them and also showing it. Because here's the thing. It's not like I haven't had a crush on people. And for me specifically, I want to say women, because that's just my main target group. Let's put it like that. So I'm gonna say women. Goes for people in general. I forgot what I said. It's not like I haven't really wanted to get to know someone. But then somehow it was always this, how do I do this? And lately, I just happen to have confidence to just go for it. And just, I don't know, in my head be like, oh, kind of, they want me to. That also sounds wrong, it's not there. But a complete neglect of fear of rejection. Like a complete, oh, hey, I find you interesting. It's this, and not in a creepy way, because I kind of tend to have done it in a creepy way, I think. Hey, do you, I find you attractive, kind of. The radical honesty style, which can work if they also happen to find you attractive, but if it's not immediate for them, which turns out for most people, just by my looks, I'm not unattractive, but I'm like, it's not enough. Like, just my looks are just not enough for most people, unless I'm their type and they just want some quick sex or whatever. So that strategy with the, oh, I find you attractive, are you into me as well? This kind of creepy way doesn't really work well. But with some real confidence, or probably faked confidence, I don't know if there is a difference, but I think I had real confidence. It was just so much easier. I was like, you wanna dance? Yeah, I don't know, kind of like this natural way of, oh, I find you attractive. I don't need to name it. I just acted like I worked with it. I just did stuff and got myself closer to them. Hello. Doggy. Distracted me. I was just getting physically closer to them because it felt normal, because I wasn't being weird about it. I wasn't being like, I was just like, and I have the confidence now that I would see if the other person doesn't feel comfortable with what I'm doing. And I allow myself to just touch people, to just get close to people, to hug people. Like, I'm pretty sure that I have this sensibility now. And of course, this is not 100% and I might make mistakes still, but it worked pretty well recently. And I haven't heard any complaints, and there were care teams available and stuff. So it's like, it's a good place to practice that as well. But I just went for it without being so stuck up, because I'm pretty sure I told you this before, but like up until my late 20s, I wasn't, or at least my mid 20s, I wasn't even allowing myself to touch people. This, like, just even touch on the shoulder if you're talking, which I do normally now. Like, I just touch someone on the shoulder. I noticed that when I was talking to some random old guy in a bar, because he filmed me and I wanted the video, and he was like, yeah, I can send it to you, and he seemed like a professor or whatever, and I was just casually talking with him and was like touching him on the shoulder like this, and then realizing, oh, in the normal world you don't do this, right? But I kind of now do it with people, at least that I'm like, you know, just I allow myself to do that. It changed, and those little things, and just, starting to put my hand somewhere, put my hand on their leg, and if they don't react, then I'm like, there's also a not react and freeze. This is also something you need to look out for. But you look for signs that's okay. Either they put their hand there, or they're like, and if I don't get anything, I remove it again. But put my hand there, they put their hand there, and okay, that was acceptable, that was good. So you gotta just try, and I just allow myself to try more lately. Because I have the confidence that, it's fine, like people like me, I'm not being weird about it. So that's a big one, not being weird about it, but also this showing attraction, like showing that you're into them, is probably the most attractive thing you can do. And I'm not only saying that from my perspective of what I did that others are into me, kind of game. That's not like I didn't do this on purpose, but I noticed also on myself at one of the earlier festivals, the two people that I found most attractive were the two people that showed it to me that they find me attractive. They were coming to me and they wanted to cuddle with me, and I was like, they are actually really attractive, And the funny thing is, there were also other people that I physically find attractive. I know that, like purely on paper, but I didn't find them as attractive because they weren't making moves on me. So this kind of a showing that I am into you has a good chance of them being more into me as well. Of course, it can also, go the other way. If I'm showing it and they're like, I'm not interested, but then they won't show it to me, and then I will also lose interest at some point. Or, or I get it, okay, they're just not interested, fine, moving on. I can handle rejections, that's fine. And obviously it doesn't work with everyone, but that's fine. Because it did work with a bunch of people. Some of them I really didn't expect, like I didn't expect to go there, but then we went there and it was like, all right, cool, I enjoyed this. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm not sure I'm happy with how I phrased this, but the idea of me just allowing myself to show that I'm interested in them, also in a physical way, has worked pretty well for me. That's all I say. I'm not saying that this is the to-go strategy, how to get anyone in bed or whatever, or how to get anyone to like you or whatever. This is probably not, but for me it certainly feels like this was one of the core aspects of why it works with so many people. Because it's a chicken and an egg problem. It's a chicken and an egg problem. You need confidence to be attractive, but you need to be attractive to have confidence. Something like that. I'm not sure if the attractiveness is the right word, but you need to have the confidence to get the people. But then you only get the confidence if you have the people. And that was a spiral that I got into, I think. Maybe I was just lucky with the first one or whatever, or it just, happened by chance. And then all of a sudden I was like, I got this. This is easy. And so the next one I had this confidence of, and all of a sudden that worked. And then I was like, whoa, that was easy. And then the next festival I was like, this is again easy. How am I doing this? This is so easy. I didn't even want, I did want, but I didn't expect, but then it just happened. And then with another one, and I was like, whoa, so many. How am I doing this? But with all of them, actually, for me, it's more of it's so nice that we connected. I really enjoyed the time, and I don't see the relationship. Like, I don't see how I would commit to this one person. But none of the people actually wanted that. All of them are more like, yeah, by the way, I'm poly, I have a partner, I'm seeing this one, or I'm just not interested in something serious. They're all more like this. They're all avoidant. We're all avoidant here. Me as well. So yeah, that I kind of worked in that way. And still, I was like, I just get this on dance festivals. I need to go on more dance festivals. Or why do I not manage to have that in Vienna? And then, guess what happened? I did basically the same thing in Vienna. Also with someone that I know from Fusion, but who's not in the Fusion scene really, not internationally. Saw them at a different dance event and just, talked with them, danced with them, and then went to another place with them to dance some more and be super cuddly, because I just allowed myself to do that. And I was just touching her and I was like, yeah, I massage you. This is the most normal thing that you do. And yeah, that then somehow also developed into something more, which is where I'm at now, where I'm now basically seeing someone in Vienna. And also that person is more on the, I don't want to have anything committed, just so you know, kind of a side. And that would be like super fine with me, except I really developed a crush on this person. So I was like, damn, I do want more. And at the same time though, I don't think this is the one for me. I don't think that this is the person for my life or whatever. Which is another great story though. Maybe I want to tell this first. Oh yeah, I need to tell this. Because one reason why it kind of worked lately is also, and that's reason number 3, I guess, that I allow myself to find people attractive and actually allow myself to be open for people. What do I mean by that? Because, I mean, I have found women attractive. Every, I don't know, 10th or whatever, 10% of women I'm like, I mean, would do them. But there wasn't really anyone, or very, very, very few, where I'm like, this could actually work for a relationship. This could actually go somewhere. And because I was always looking at it from the lens of I'm looking for a partner for a committed long-term relationship, I had a pool of no people. 0. Because with everyone I found something that's like, no, that's not it. They're smoking, they're whatever it is, they're too old, they're, you know, I found all the reasons not to actually want a relationship with them, and therefore I already excluded them for anything. Because what I was looking for is this serious thing, and I didn't find it, and I was just stuck. And then I had this kind of a switch where I said, well, you know what? It's fine if that person will not become the mother of my children and will not become the partner for my life. And all of a sudden, I was open for just some casual things, or just some short-term things, and also being open for the idea of, hey, I can have a relationship with someone just for a year, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, I don't want a relationship where I already say from the beginning, this will not work. That's maybe not the right thing, but I'm coming at it from a lens of, it doesn't need to be that one person. It's good for me to just be in a relationship and learn about my triggers, learn how it is to be with someone, because I haven't been doing that in the past 8 years. I've been single for the past 8 years, and I have always blocked anything that was potentially there because it wasn't the right person. So with that shift of, hey, I can allow myself to do that, all of a sudden, and also a little bit with the shift of, at the same time, I don't even need to commit to one person, came this shift of, so many people are all of a sudden attractive, and not just attractive for the I want to have sex with them, but also for the I want to get to know them, and really like they could be such a nice person, because I see over their little issues they have, or the tiny things that make them human, that are part of their personality, where before, oh, that doesn't work for me, where I'm now like, oh, that's so cool that you have this quirk. It's fine, makes you a person. Guess what? I have those too. No one is perfect. And that's a way more realistic view on people. Because the one I had before is just unrealistic. This person that checks all the boxes. I mean, no. And even if they checked all the boxes, then they would have found someone other than me who also checked all the boxes years before. So, you know, everybody will have their baggage and whatever. And that's fine. That's normal. And I'm at that point now where I can say, great, and I still want to get to know them, and I can still see myself being close with them and being potentially in a relationship with them. Because it doesn't need to be the goddamn mother of my children, you know? I detach that idea. It doesn't need to. It doesn't need to be. You know, and that's just so freeing in a way. And that kinda opened me up for, well, polyamory, except, I mean, I've never been a fan of that. I've also never been a fan of monogamy, really. Like, my natural tendency is more to the freedom, do whatever I want, but I'm willing to take the monogamy because it has advantages, like you have to worry less about STDs, it's just easier in terms of time commitment, and takes less capacity overall for communicating because you just don't do stuff with other people, and you just have one, and the more you have, that communication is just, it's exponentially more communication. So the more partners you have, so that's why polyamory just doesn't work for me, because like I don't have the capacity to share my life with so many people, except for just, you know, sharing a little bit and being like, oh yeah, having a little bit of sex and then moving on to the next one. That's fine, but that I don't see as polyamory, that I see as having, I don't know, maybe friendship plus or sex buddies or whatever. For a real relationship, I really want to get to know the person on a deeper level and like really know what's going on for them, and I don't see that I can do that for more than, say, 2 people. I mean, 1 realistically, 2, and then hey, if I want children, I don't have capacity anymore for, you know, more. So that's why with children, I really like, I would like to focus on one person. However, not saying that I can't have an open relationship where I have a one primary partner and then stuff on the side that is not so important. That I could see myself doing. But that I also don't define as polyamory. But the terminology and everything is not even that important. But yeah, the point here was that I opened myself to the possibility of being with someone who I don't see as the person for my life. And that's relatively new. I mean, I've had that idea for a few months, but like now I really feel it as well. And now we can come back to the person in Vienna, because I developed a crush and then I was like, I do want more. Because at first I was just like, oh great, I finally have something like that in Vienna, but I do want more. So I would really like to really get to know them and open up for them emotionally. But in order for me to do that, I need some things to be like defined, because I can only do that if the other person is also open for that, and if we establish that we have honest and direct communication, because those are my two must-haves for a relationship. I can't be with someone who doesn't want to tell me what's going on for them, or doesn't know. I mean, it's okay if you don't know, but then you tell me that you don't know where that comes from, and you still share what you're feeling and what your state is. And you share what you're doing, how you're feeling towards me, and how you're feeling towards other people. That's my must-have. And so I talked with that person that I was seeing in Vienna, and she basically said, yeah, she can do that. Like, I don't expect any monogamy or whatever. She didn't want a relationship because relationship to her meant being monogamous and not being free and being able to do whatever she wants. But I explained to her that she can still do whatever she wants. Her actions might have consequences, and I might tell her, if I'm aware of that, what those consequences for me would be. For instance, there could be one person where I'm like, no, if you're dating that person, then I can't date you anymore. And I would communicate that. And then she can still be like, well, but I want to date this person, so I'm gonna date this person. That's still her decision, and I want her to have that decision. But then she needs to be aware that I will then go through with the thing that I said, which is, okay, then I can't see you anymore. In a relationship, I always want to have the you make your decisions. I don't want anybody to limit their decisions, but it's okay that I hold my own boundaries. And my boundary is not that you can't have sex with other people. If that were, then it wouldn't work already. But currently they're just, I want to know how you are, and I want you to tell me in case I ask. I would like them to not be defensive but really tell me and be open about it. Yeah, and it sounds like they're fine with that. They were even very, I should say she was even very surprised that I can have such an open, direct communication with her. Like, this talk was really nice. So yeah, I'm onto something. I also think that we're very similar in terms of our ADHD autism spectrum, where we are there. She might be a bit more on the ADHD side than me, but certainly we are both neurodiverse, and I think that's one reason why we can understand each other much better. Like, neurotypical people are much more difficult to understand for me. But yeah, so basically, I don't want to say I'm in a relationship because that just doesn't sound right yet. It's way too early for that. But I am at the stage where I'm seeing someone and where I want this to get something more serious. Not monogamous, just serious. So yeah, that's my status. I don't know what my status is my status. And that's okay. I don't need to have a label for that. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. She asked me, but do you expect that sometime in the future, do you expect this to... And I was like, I do see this for a long-term thing, but I don't have the expectation that something will change in the future. I don't think that in the future I will say, oh, and now I want a monogamous relationship. No. So yeah, it's actually really nice. I do enjoy this, because it gives me the freedom to keep doing the things I have been doing so far, enjoying myself at dance festivals, being close with other people. And I think I'm fine if she does the same. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't want double standards anyway. And also, the cool thing about this as well, I will learn something about myself, because sooner or later she will hit some triggers. She will find something that hurts me in one way or the other. Or, well, I hurt myself, or that is just difficult for me. And that's a learning field. I want to go that place. I want to do this. I want to commit to her also for this learning experience. Not for this to work out forever, but for us to grow with each other. And that's just such a nice way to see this. And I really love that.
It's so fun. Today she's flying to see another lover of hers or whatever, don't know what they are, but to see some other person. And I have no problem with that. Especially because I'm not in Vienna anyway, because I'm now somewhere in Belgium and I will go to this Zouk Congress. And funnily enough, we will both come back to Vienna on the same day. We didn't plan that. Like, we both planned that when we didn't even, saw each other yet. So that's quite funny. And yeah, I don't think that I get jealous for her hanging out with other people or having sex with other people or making out with other people or whatever it is. No, I don't think so. The only thing where I can see myself getting jealous is if she spends more time with someone else when I want to spend time with her. So when I'm like, oh, I'm in Vienna, you're in Vienna, we could see each other, but you're seeing this other person and I don't have anyone else to see. And that could be a difficult thing for me. And that's good, because then I can learn about myself. And we will see like how it feels for me. I don't know yet. We will see. This is gonna be interesting. For now, we're very much in the we're crushing very hard on each other phase, and we're like this most of the time. And also, yep, but that's just the initial phase, which is a nice phase, I love it, but we will see how we like each other once we're out of that phase. Looking forward to that. I hope that we make it there. Yeah, it's just so cool. It's so cool. I'm so proud of myself, how I evolved, how much I learned about relationships, about myself, about how to interact with people. And I understand so much more now. I am certainly somewhere on the autism spectrum, and I still have difficult times reading people and feeling them and knowing what my words and actions do with the other person. I'll end with this example, which is ridiculous to me now, but wasn't, let's say, 10 years ago. So I'm still studying, right? I have my second girlfriend now, and I know that this will end. This relationship, even when we started it, we knew it would end once I move away. And that's okay, that's all established. But then this guy, 10 years younger and much less emotionally capable, says things like, oh, this person, this is my future ex-partner. This is my future ex-girlfriend. And I said that. And my friends were like, dude, you can't say that. They were really uncomfortable with me saying that in front of her. And she also didn't particularly enjoy it. And I didn't get it because we had established that this would end when I move away. So it's obvious. So it's obvious, or it was obvious to me, that this relationship has an end. Therefore, then she will be my ex-girlfriend. So I can say, in the future, she will be my ex-girlfriend. Like, logically sound, makes sense. It's not wrong. I wonder what everybody's making a fuss about. I don't get it, because it's true. But, and now I get it. Now I'm like more understanding, because I'm like, okay, what does that do with a person? What could that mean for them that I say this? What they could hear is, this person is not really invested in our relationship right now, because he's already thinking about the future when we're not together anymore. Or something like that. And even though I don't think that I meant that, but it's about being mindful of what your words do with other people. And that's why for me, as someone somewhere on the autism spectrum, it's so important to check in. How did you feel about that? I noticed there is something that you don't enjoy. What did you hear me say? What do you make of that? And then I can check in, did I mean that? Or, oh no, I meant that completely different. I wanted to say this. Or, oh, I understand that it makes you feel this way. That's not what I wanted to express. And taking accountability and trying to not do that again. I'm sorry that you feel this way. I could have phrased that better. Taking accountability, checking in with them. Basically, I just learned people skills, more people skills. And for some people, that's obvious. Some people get that with, their parents. In their childhood, they have role models that provide them with that knowledge. However, I wasn't provided with that knowledge. I do think that especially my dad has exactly that same issue in communicating with people that I have. I mean, makes sense. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, And I see that in my dad as well. Like, I see how he says things that he probably doesn't mean like that, but for him are logical and make sense, just on an emotional level, are really mean. But he doesn't see that the same way I didn't see that, because for us this is not obvious. but I have learned, and in most cases I now understand. And holy, I need to go back if I want to catch my train. I walk 12 minutes to get there. Yeah, I want to catch my train. But like the thing is, I'm so privileged that I have so many resources to learn about all those things and practice all of that, because I don't need to work all the time. Other people just are stuck, like this camera, with their work, and therefore they don't have the time to improve themselves and learn the stuff that they need to learn, and you know, work on the things that they need to learn to become nice people or whatever. So yeah, my life, man, I'm so privileged, I'm so lucky, and I'm pretty happy with where I am right now, and it's going forward from here. I will keep learning. I will keep learning about myself, about other people, and eventually our life's gonna end, and that's okay. But like, yeah, I enjoy this. I enjoy where I am right now, and I keep making progress. And I will end this video now, and I will see you in the video where I go dance. Look here, I went dance to a big dance festival. I will make a vlog about that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.